Men fall in love with Mrs. Right now instead
Yeah.
of Mrs. Right. Women wait for guys to come to them and they settle for the guys that come around.
Ooh.
So understanding that you are saying this is what you're saying to me.
Yeah.
I am an ocean.
What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of It's Giving. I am your host, Sarah Fontenot, and if you have not yet, please make sure to hit that subscribe button below and hit that little bell so you get a notification with each new piece of content. We are bringing dynamic conversations for you to have in the household with the intention of creating healing. And speaking of healing, today we are joined by a GOAT in the building, okay? This man is out here changing lives. He is helping people to have access to a better version of themselves. He is passionate about mindset, and he's out here teaching you tangible steps how to get out of your own way. Can we please give it up for Shaun, Mindset Mogul?
Make me sound good.
I mean, I'm telling the truth. It's easy.
All truth, but geez, thank you. I appreciate
It's nice
that.
to hear, huh?
Yeah.
It is a little nice. So I have to ask you, if this season of your life were called It's Giving blank and you have to fill in the blank, what would it be called? And you have to say it's giving.
It's giving love.
Oh.
Yeah.
Break that down.
Oh man. Love is the highest frequency that we can ever operate in.
True.
And I'm operating in my highest frequency.
Oh.
And the world is loving on me
Oh.
because I'm loving on myself.
Oh.
Yeah.
You just said a lot.
Yeah.
So not even necessarily love inside of a relationship, but it's more so love of self.
I think when you love yourself enough,
Yeah.
you get to be able to experience love from other people.
Yes.
So if I'm loving myself at the highest capacity, I know
yes.
my love for or with someone else is right around the corner.
So do you ever feel like, because in experience for me, the more that you love yourself, it creates more confidence. It creates more walk inside of expectation, not to be confused with arrogance, but expectation. It creates more of a certainty. And that can either be very alarming for people, disarming for people, or completely shut people off. Have you also experienced that aspect of what comes with self-love?
Absolutely.
What's that look like?
And you have to audit your circle. Right? So your circumstances are based upon the circle that you're standing in.
Ooh.
So what happens is, as you grow, as you ascend,
Mm-hmm.
there will be people that fall off.
Yes.
There will be people that come in.
Yes.
So for me, I understand that everything is temporary. So my lifestyle is my mindset turned inside out. So as long as I'm seeing myself as the highest version, my experience is going to be the highest version.
Oh, your lifestyle is your mindset inside out.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
You experience you.
Yes. In the world.
Right. You experience you.
So you experience the experience that you have because you only see from the vantage point that you've had.
Right. So it's like this. Whatever you see frequently is basically becomes your frequency.
Yes.
So, but it's duality in the world. So your frequency is what you see frequently.
Yes.
So when you talk about confidence, stepping into confidence, and now that like adds layers to what you can do and what you see for yourself, then it starts to show up. But if I'm playing a victim role, if I'm being shy, if I think I'm using language that is like negative, then I'm going to see and experience what we call negative.
Yes. Right. I say that all the time. We don't attract what we think about. We attract what we feel strongest about. Right. And I feel like there are literal people that are in a space where, have you ever noticed those people that they catch every red light, or they stub their toe when they're walking, or they are always getting sick? Like it's literally always something that's happening for them inside of their lives. And I feel like it's because they're constantly on that frequency of negative. That's why I think negative Nancy's, like it has a whole name out here.
Right.
It's a thing.
It is a thing.
So I feel like I'm allergic to negative people. I will quickly separate myself from negative people and all of the things. How do you do that? Is that ever challenging for you?
It is challenging because there's people that you want to be around that you can't be around. There's people that you want to be with, but you shouldn't be with. It's people that is not in alignment with your assignment.
Ooh. Okay.
So understanding that you're going to have these obstacles, but these obstacles are just opportunities.
Yes.
Opportunity to show your greatness. Now, what do I mean by that? Like, if you continuously do things that's out of alignment with your assignment, you're going to feel struggle.
What about when you are in alignment with your assignment and you still feel struggle?
There's two sides of pain.
Yes.
Do you know?
I believe there's purpose inside of your pain.
Right.
So I think that it's an intentional pain that you know that you're going to go through. But what were you going to say?
That there's the pain of reward and there's the pain of regret.
Yes.
So you understand that. But if you're in alignment with your assignment, you already know, because you being in alignment with your assignment means you're the reflection of your possibilities.
Yeah.
So who I am is the possibility of love, connectivity, financial prosperity.
Come on.
If I'm operating outside of that and I feel struggle, that's me out of alignment.
Yeah.
If I operate inside of that and I feel some type of push or pull, it's not to pull me down, it's to pull me up.
Yes. How did you get like this? Where did this start? How long have you been doing this? Because I noticed when I talk to you, sound like you read a lot. And I know because I hear it because I do it. And I oftentimes have these conversations with people where it's like, there is no right or wrong. It's just what's most in alignment, or, you know, good, bad, right or wrong. It just is what it is. And it's all perception and vantage points. And I think that when you get to this level of both and all, everything exists, it's very hard to relate to, but it's so true. Right. Well, what is truth, right? Doesn't really exist. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation. How did you get like this?
Like, first of all, I thank you because that's a compliment with what you're saying.
Yes.
Right? Because I'm just listening for what you're actually telling me.
Yeah.
And I got like this because I'm open to understanding that I don't know anything.
Are you you are speaking my language?
Didn't I tell you that you inspired me?
you
inspired me for a reason. Okay, like when I see you, I'm like, yes, that's why I told you. When I saw you on the stage, I'm like, that's the person I need to know.
Oh wow! I literally am. My mind is so blown because I feel like you're such a mirror for me right now in this moment, and a part of me is like, ooh, I wonder if people get lost in what I'm saying or if they're really with me. Because what you're saying is so good. It's so rich in value. Okay, so we got to rewind. How did you get like this? What did you do?
Can I just be honest?
Yes.
If I could be real, say be real.
Be real.
All right. So it came from studying. The more I got to know about myself, I got to know about everyone else. The more I got to see that, okay, we're all alike, but yeah, we got certain differences. It made me understand, whoa, like I could be me. I could be who I am and not worry about if somebody doesn't get me or not, because the people that's meant for me will be with me. So I studied. I went to seminars. I took mentorships. I wrote down every breakthrough. So I wrote this book, Become More Effective in Less Time. And it was basically a collection of breakthroughs.
Can I see this?
Of course.
Okay, so I'm going to flip to a page and I'm just going to read something from your book, Become More Effective in Less Time. Shaun, right here, wrote this book. You wrote this? Did you really write this, or did you have help writing this?
This comes from my notes. Like, I write a bunch of notes. Okay.
Chapter 6, Law of Connectivity, the Power of Human Connection. This is literally what I just flipped to in this book. I'm going to read a paragraph. Okay. You ready?
Yes.
The law of connectivity says that the more we connect within ourselves, the more we will connect to others. The more we act with love and kindness, the more our world will be filled with love and kindness. There is a direct reflection in our relationship with the world around us. What we put out into it is what we get back always. Mm-hmm. This is literally exactly what we just said.
Right. But how? Because we're in alignment with our assignment. You're walking in your purpose. I'm walking in mine. You're the star of your movie. I'm the star of mine. We come together. We co-star.
Period. And it's a great movie.
100%.
Best movie ever seen.
Right.
I'm literally just over here like, and I love that there's like a journal version of it. So you can take time for your reflection. Oh, this is really good. It literally says time for your reflection over here. So I'm just literally like blown away. I really feel like connection because I watched this one thing and people might think that I am a little strange because I am compared to a lot of people. My mind is in 10,000 different places at once. And I saw this one thing on YouTube called The Egg. And The Egg is a breakdown of what it believes to be God is. It's an 8-minute video on YouTube. And it really blew my mind in thinking because essentially the message inside of The Egg is once you die and you've lived every life here on earth, you are every single person. We're all interconnected, and how you do treat yourself. And time is not just forward and backward. It's all encompassing, happening all at the same time. Then you too can join God for real. And what if this whole universe was just for you? But you don't know that you are me and I am you. And when you start thinking about the interconnectivity of I am you and you are me, you really, truly, like that saying, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, or the golden rule. I really and truly feel like it is the law of connectivity, but it's also a universal truth that whatever you feel strongest about is what you get back. How did you come to experience these different types of things? Because it's one thing to study something, but it's different to embody it.
I want to answer it first, and then I'm going to give background.
Okay.
But let me start off with a question.
Okay.
Are there any mirrors in nature?
Like actual mirrors?
Yeah, like actual mirrors.
Yes, water.
Is that a mirror or
It's
reflection?
a reflection.
So are there any mirrors or in nature?
I feel like, okay, so not a reflection, just a straight mirror,
straight mirror.
Glass.
That's a perception, just mirror.
I don't know. I need to look up what mirror means.
Because you already answered it. So the mirror
is you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why there aren't. That's why you can't see yourself. You're really not you're not meant to see yourself in this world, because you're supposed to see yourself through other people. If you didn't see yourself, you wouldn't act. Okay, let's say a person is very beautiful. If I'm very beautiful, I'm going to act a certain way to a person that may not be as beautiful as me, because I feel like the standard of where I'm living in represents beauty as a higher standard of power. So I'm going to use my power over you. But if I didn't know how I looked, how could I ever do that?
So who created mirrors?
I don't know who created mirrors.
Or why'd they do it?
I don't know why they did it.
I got questions.
They found material. And then they was like, whoa, this is
I
crazy.
can see me.
You ever seen an animal react to being in the mirror for the first time?
Yes, they freak out.
Right. Why do you think they freak out?
Because they've never seen themselves.
Because you're not actually supposed to see yourself. Like in this world, you're not. It's supposed to be through other people. And this world is a collection of individuals. That's why we all got a sprinkle of God's love, a sprinkle of God's abilities, right? So then we come together like puzzle pieces. But what the media does, the media makes us fight against each other, so we can't recognize that.
Okay, I have to ask you, because I want to know, one, are you single?
I'm single, yes.
I got questions. This is what I want to know. With a mind like this, how is dating? Are you dating?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you're like actively dating.
Yes.
You're in these streets. You're
I'm
outside.
not in the streets.
You're outside.
I'm not outside.
Oh.
But I am dating.
One person. You're dating. Okay, great. We're gonna leave it with he's dating. Okay, this is good. So inside of dating, how is this? How is that?
Dating is amazing for me, and it's a gift and a curse.
Tell
because
me why.
Partly the way that I am is because of one of my last partners. She was so amazing, but I didn't feel it was working. And I kind of forced her out of my life for a moment in time so I could become the better version of myself, so I could actually be able to
get her back.
It's not even about get her back. I thought she was just going to be there. I asked her, can let me just work on myself a little bit. She's like, no. I said no. And everything I did was like, yeah, I want to make sure we have a great experience, because I believe in having beautiful experiences.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate that I can love somebody and now I'm not giving her the love that I want to give her. But now somebody else get to get that based upon I wouldn't be who I am without her. You
think she'll spin the block?
I don't think so. I don't think she's spin the block.
Why?
I just don't think so. It's been 3 years.
Oh.
I don't think she's spin the block.
Are you waiting on her to spin the block?
I was.
Oh.
But I can't wait too long, because.
But you're still waiting. You're open.
I'm open only because I can't tell the future. But the way that I love is so powerful that I know it would be amazing love with her. Right? Because think about this. You know about the 5?
The 5 what?
Just the 5.
I don't know. Tell me.
All right. So everybody wants to experience the 5. Everybody wants to feel loved, appreciated, heard, felt, and seen. Anytime you have a fraction of any of those, you have a fractured relationship. I'm able to love so powerfully because of that. So the woman, if I'm with a woman, it's love from the moment. Like, because I'm the type of person, I don't want you to give me a representative. I want you to be you, and I want to have your whole you, and I want to give you my whole me right away. The real me.
This man is speaking a beautiful language. But you know what though? Honestly, most people, because I feel like society has almost made it where people are watered down. People are not whole versions of themselves. They don't take the time to be aware of who they are and what it is that they actually want. And so in some cases, it's not even a level of representative that they're showing. It's a level of they're still kind of lost.
Right.
Like Napoleon Hill says, people are drifters. 97% of people are drifters. And so inside of that, it's very challenging to show up as your whole self and not be condemned in some kind of way, or even for you to show up, or when someone else does, it's almost like for me, my experience in the past has been, because I'm like you, I show up as my whole self. Like, look, this is me. Take it or leave it. Like, there's good, there's bad, there's ups, there's downs. Like, if I'm exhausted, I'm not going to say I'm having a great day. I'm going to tell you what's really happening for me. If I am super excited, my voice is probably 13 octaves higher and I'm like screaming and giddy, and I'm like, that is me. You know, I have it's not even a dichotomy, because it's literally everything, all encompassing, like heat radiating off of the sun. I'm full blown in my feminine, which is flow. I just flow, right? And so inside of that, what I've understood and what I realized is when I do come as all of me, it sometimes is like, oh, I wasn't ready for all of you. And so I've learned now to give pieces, like, okay, this is this topic, or this is that. Yeah, go ahead.
I want all of you.
I mean, eventually.
Ain't no eventually.
It's like an elephant.
No.
You can't eat an elephant at one time.
Queen,
you got to one bite at a time.
Stop it right now, Queen. Stop it right now. That's a condition. That's a condition. And then I'm going to give you a lot of love right now.
Okay.
I receive a lot of love and healing right now.
I receive it.
And I thank you for that.
Uh-huh.
I want to say this to you. What happens in relationships is this. When you give pieces of you,
mm-hmm.
the person falls in love with that version.
Yes.
And if you gave me pieces, you add pieces that I probably didn't want.
But if it's all of me, you're going to get all of me.
No.
It just takes time.
If it's all of me, I'm going to get all of you right away and be able to make a decision right here, right now.
No, it's impossible.
Okay, break it down.
I think that for me, and I love you, I can respect your vantage point, but for me, because I am so vast with a lot of capacity. Number one, do you have capacity for my capacity and your own capacity on top of my capacity, right? And we live in a world where most people are shallow and not deep. So my biggest opportunity, and I've had this inside of experiences, is for me to see, and not to say anyone is a good person or a bad person, but what I've realized is, you know, a shot glass and a pint glass, or a shot glass to a pitcher, or a shot glass to a pool, or a shot glass to an ocean are completely different capacities. And so if I get to try to pour my ocean over your shot glass, or my ocean over your pitcher, or my ocean all over, because I've identified and taken the time to know that we are all an ocean. I just acknowledge it. I've delved into all of the ugliest, most beautiful, terrible, tragic, awesome, incredible parts of me. And if you haven't done that work as well, I'm going to drown you.
Aha.
So I have to be slow inside of allowing.
Hold on, quick.
Yeah.
Aha. That's your aha moment.
Come on, aha.
See, that's the issue that I have, not with you, but with women and men.
Tell me.
Men fall in love with Mrs. Right now instead of Mrs. Right. Women wait for guys to come to them and they settle for the guys that come around. So understanding that you are saying this is what you're saying to me. Yeah. I am an ocean.
I am an ocean.
But a person has a capacity to only fill up with the whatever, how many ounces is in a shot glass.
Yeah.
They're not for you, Queen.
I agree. And then I walk away.
So it ain't even about giving you a little bit just to fill up your glass. No, because if the tables was turned, they can't even pour back into it.
I agree. What is a shot glass to an ocean? Right. And so it comes back to this. My opportunity inside of protecting and being and experiencing and all of the things of love is to see what capacity do you have before I offer you my ocean. Right. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that, you know, I'm like, oh, well, you're just going to see my sexy part. Oh, you're just going to see my cute part. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you got to be slow. There's, I think his name is Matthew Hussey. He's a relationship guy, and he talks about levers inside of relationships. And he talks about you've got to match the lever of what you're doing. And I think where a lot of women go wrong inside of relationships is we get in and we give our all when that man hasn't even given us the go to give the all, right? So it's like the lever goes, I'm going to meet you where you're at. So I give you a little, you give me a little. You give me a little, I give you a little. We go forward, we go back. We go forward, we go back. But it's like this dance where it's a symbiotic thing because we're both moving in the same direction.
Right.
I don't know. What do you think?
No, I love it, but I'm still listening to exactly what you're saying. And you're still settling for the men that come around to
Oh, no, I don't settle. I don't have to settle in.
Not you, but the ideology of it. Like the message is beautiful. And I want anybody who's listening, I want to make sure that's received.
Yes.
The message is beautiful. Take your time with things. Let things develop.
Yes.
Understand that totally.
Yes.
What I'm saying is this. That method works with somebody who may not be ready for you. So for me, I'm the type of person, I want my woman to be personal development number one. Like her first thing, forget me. I'm not her first priority. Her first priority is personal development. That's it.
Self.
You understand? So when you have that, it makes more sense to dive into a person where, okay, you give your all because you understand that both of us, we are nowhere. Like we have everything we want right here, right now, but we still ain't got what we really want.
Period.
So we have levels to go to. So,
and when you say that, break that down for someone that's listening or watching. What does that mean?
So what happens is if we're using that ideology where I got to give bits and pieces of me, I'm stunting my growth.
Right.
If go ahead, because I love when you talk.
I was just because I got questions. So I'm not saying give bits and pieces of you. I'm just saying be slow to allow all of you. Right. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Take your time.
Okay. And I love that. That's why I said I love it, but I got to challenge people because I want this type of conversation. Like men and women need to have this type of conversation where we could talk about this because who sat us down to have a conversation to teach us how to communicate?
Nobody.
Who sat us down to teach us how to love?
My parents taught me, but I get what you're saying.
No, that's great for you.
And they taught their version of it as well. What is love? My version of love is different from their version of love.
So yes, we understand it's all step by step. Yeah. It's all moment by moment.
Yes.
But when you understand that life is so temporary, when you understand that all you have is the perpetual now, then you have an easier love when you are loving fully in your moment here, giving yourself fully versus slowly. Like, because it's going to happen slow anyway, but it's going to happen fast at the same time.
Yeah. You know what my mom says? What? Anytime that I'm like, oh, I think I met someone, I'm excited about this person, whatever. Because I tell my mom everything. I tell my dad's always right there next to my mom while we're FaceTiming. So he hears everything too. My mom always says, dive in. And if it is a disaster, it is a disaster. And that is okay. You will learn from it and it will be a beautiful lesson. But what if it's the most epic love story that ever existed? And so when I do choose, I do dive in. It just takes me a minute for me. And maybe some of my ladies at home can relate. It's like, you can't just dive in with everybody because everybody can't, if you jump off a bridge because you think there's an ocean on the bottom that's deep and vast and no rocks, but really you're trying to dive into a shot glass, you will die. Like we can't just dive into everything. But when you do, and it makes sense and you vetted that person out, I think that's when it's time to dive. And so I have to ask you, what does your vetting process look like?
Yeah, so I love that. And I hope everybody's picking up what you're putting down right now because this is classic. Shout out to moms too.
Yeah, mom.
And you look amazing too. So shout out to the outfit.
Oh, this is my grandmother. This was my grandmother's. My grandmother passed about 2 years ago. But I got a lot of really cool vintage items from her closet. So Grammy, I love you. I feel you. And I'm just excited to have you with me.
Shout out to Grammy.
Yeah, Grammy is amazing.
All right. She dripped you up today.
She dripped me up.
So like the vetting process, you have to allow somebody to be themselves. Yes. You got to allow somebody to be themselves fully. So the vetting process, hey, look, once again, the way that I'm starting as if I'm not bringing my representative. I'm not pretending to be somebody else. I'm not holding anything back. I'm being fully me, like what you would actually get I'm giving you what you would actually get. So, hey, we're going to take a trip. I just met you a week ago. Let's go take a trip if you're available. You're available? You go available, you take a trip. But now you get to see how people move when you're with them. Because you may not go to their house. They may come to your house, or you may not even meet up like that. But you have to know how a person lives. You have to understand how a person carries themselves. You have to understand habits, because the habits dictate the quality of your life. So you just can't just jump in with everybody. So that's why I agree with that. But just the love aspect, you want to make sure you love fully. And the vetting process, you have to actually spend time with a person. You got to ask questions.
What kind of questions do you ask?
Who are you? What do you represent?
What kind of answers do you get when you ask that question? I feel like people don't even know how to answer that question.
Sometimes people go, oh, wow, I never heard that before. So, but sometimes.
And then they tell you what they do. I'm a nurse. No. Who are you?
Who are you?
What's the answer? What kind of answers do you get?
If I'm lucky, I get the answers of, I'm an amazing person. I love like openly. I get all of those. Yeah. Right. But I also get the other side. Like, and the other side is, like you mentioned, like, I don't know even how to think about this question.
Yeah. Because people don't think about it. Right. We're duped from our childhood, because it's like, what do you want to be or what do you want to do when you grow up? Not who do you want to be.
Can you say it again, please?
Yeah, people are always asking us, what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to do? A far better and more powerful question to ask is, who do you want to be? Because one is connected to achievement, whereas being is connected to fulfillment. And so if you can get to a place in your life where you feel fulfilled inside of who you are, like my answer to that question, when people are like, oh, what do you do? I never talk about what I actually do. I talk about who I am. I'm just a person that believes we can be, do, and have whatever we want to be, do, and have. Right. That's literally, and I live by that. And I'm in integrity with that, you know? And so I'm just so interested to know, like, what kind of answers would you get? Like, people don't get that question. You know, I just today was having a conversation with someone, and I said, what can I do to support you? And they said, no one has ever asked me that question. I don't even know how to answer the question. But you know what? Let me think about it, and then I'll come back to you. I literally, all of my people, is there anything that I can do to support you? Is there anything that I could do to support you? Because we got us at the end of the day. I live by that. That's like one of my hashtags in life. But most people don't know, because they're not aware of the lack that they actually have, because they've never been asked about it before.
Right. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
I feel like that's why I'm here. I feel like that's why we have the It's Giving podcast. I feel like that's why the conversations and the places and all of the things that we do have to do with, who are you? Not what do you do? We don't care. Achievements are great. Accolades are great. None of that matters. You can't take that with you when you leave here. What you leave on the planet is the impression that you had on people, the legacy that you have through your children, the impact that you've made on this planet. And that's what I focus on. And those are also the people that I'm surrounded by. And I think that's why I have such a small group of people that are around me, because I'm not interested. Someone was like, oh, I just found out who Lil Baby is, the rapper, or Da Baby. I don't know which one it was. Anyway, I just found out about both of them. And, they were like, how did you just find out? I don't go look at things I'm not interested in. I'm not interested in the degradation of women. I'm not interested in hearing about, you know, drinking and sleeping around, and I'm not interested. Why would I do that? You know what I mean? It's like, I'm just not interested. And so for me, I'm excited about being an example for other people that are okay being different.
Right.
That's how I feel about it. I'm doing something about it.
I want to say I thank you for sharing that. And while I'm listening to you, I'm present to something.
Tell me.
I just want to say, if you ever second guess who you are, just know that you are amazing. Just know that you're a whole, complete, everything you ever wanted to be. You are that already.
Thank you.
Thank you for being you, because you are walking divinely into your purpose.
Thank you.
And I want to see you living in your paradise.
I receive that.
Because the type of person you are, you don't do this show for you.
No.
This is to be able to connect. So when you talk about me, right, you say, like, who are you? Who I am is the possibility of love, connectivity, financial prosperity. I have to be the reflection of that. If I'm the reflection of that and I walk in alignment with my assignment, what happens is I create something called beautiful experiences. Now, let's normalize speaking to ourselves that way.
Yes.
Like, let's normalize speaking to each other in a way that is uplifting.
Yes.
So when you're talking about listening to the music, Like I mentioned before, whatever you tune into, you turn into.
Yes.
So we see a lot of people out here struggling because they're not in alignment with their assignment because they've taken on somebody else's life.
You gotta let that land. Facts.
Unfortunately, this is why most of our queens and kings have terrible relationships.
Yes, toxic relationships.
Right. And speaking of toxic relationships, what about our relationships when it comes to money? Because the way you do one thing in life is how you do everything in life.
I
If you
agree.
have a toxic relationship in your romantic life, then basically you're gonna have a toxic relationship with your money life. Like, think about it. If you're a man, this is why I told you I'm not outside, right? Because if you're a man that is outside and you're with this woman, with that woman, with that, what do you think your finances are like?
Probably
All
with
over the
that place,
place.
with that place, with that, like, yeah,
all over the
yeah.
place, right? Let's just say, you thought that you were supposed to just have one job.
Yeah.
So you take this one job and you take this one income that's enough for one person, and you take that one person income and you split it up with multiple people because maybe you have children, maybe you have a husband, maybe you have a wife, whatever, and you wonder where the finances go. So when you talk about relationships, right, and you talk about money, the money that you have is basically a receipt for the value that you provide.
Yes.
Right? We understand this. So now if a person is believing that, okay, yeah, I'm supposed to just be with one person, right? Then they're going to believe that they're supposed to just be with one job. They're going to believe they're supposed to have one bank account.
Do you believe in open relationships?
So the question is not really for the open relationship part.
But I
do believe in that.
You do.
Think about it. It's about communication and interpretation.
Yes.
So if you communicate that and is well interpreted, then it could work.
So does open relationship mean multiple wives? Does it mean you'll never get married? Does it mean you'll just have girlfriends for forever? Like, what does that mean to you?
It means that you can create whatever you want. So if you want to have multiple wives, you have multiple wives. If you want to have multiple girlfriends.
Do you want to have multiple wives and multiple girlfriends?
No, I want one.
You want one?
Yeah, because.
So you don't believe in open relationships?
It's not that I don't believe in it.
Oh, so you want a relationship. That relationship is. Oh, wait. Let's look up the definition. Actually,
Yeah.
let's pull this up. When we look at the definition of open relationship, an open relationship means having more than one romantic or sexual partner at a time. It's an arrangement that both parties agree is non-exclusive or non-monogamous. As one or both partners engage in romantic or sexual activities outside of the relationship, the arrangement's agreement aspect is key.
Right.
So you're okay having a girlfriend, but y'all can both step out if you feel the need.
No, that's not what I want. But am I okay with that line of thinking? Yes, because I have been. Like when I first engaged with someone, right? Like say you date someone.
Yeah.
Typically, this goes for the typical person. You already engaged in an open relationship. And most people don't even care that they're engaged in an open relationship. They just want to know, how could I add value to this person? Which is great. But then they start switching up exactly how they feel later on down the line. And then that changes and complicates the whole relationship.
Okay, question. Because I feel like you're only in an open relationship if you're sleeping with someone that you're not exclusive with.
By the definition, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're in an exclusive relationship and then you decide you want to be monogamous or you decide you want to be open, that's different from all these people that are just out here sleeping with folks because they look good.
Right.
So is everyone really in an open relationship, or is it that people are cheating in relationships and they're just not doing the agreement aspect of things, or they're not being honest about the cheating in a relationship?
So for clarification purposes, I just meant like everybody's doing that at the initial dating stage. Like when
you mean sleeping together?
Right. Like most people, like a typical person would sleep with this person and sleep with that person and be open to picking a partner. Doesn't mean you. But
folks is grown out here.
It is what it is. Yeah, love is contractual. Most people don't understand that.
I think most people think love is possession.
Oh no.
I know, I agree with you. It's a no, but I think that most people think that because I love you, I own you. Because I love you, you're mine. Because I love you, love is supposed to look like this. When in reality, love is open, love is flow, love is freeing. For me, as far as an open relationship goes, I think that a man having sex with another woman, for me, does not mean that he loves me any less. I'm not saying I'm open to an open relationship. I've only ever been monogamous in my personal experience inside of relationships. But for a man to come to me and be honest, I think that's what's most important to me. Because when it comes to cheating, because if you're in an exclusive situation, and you decide on your own, oh, I'm open, but she ain't gonna know about it. That's a problem for me, because it's the deceit, it's the betrayal, it's the cover-ups. It's not actually the act of sex, because sex for most men doesn't really mean anything. For women, it's a little bit different. For most women, it's a little bit different. But for a man, I would have so much more respect for my man if he came to me and just kept it real by saying, you know what, this probably just isn't for me, or can it look like this? And then it's like, okay, well, let's talk about parameters or wherever that may be. And I think that people get open relationship confused with cheating, because one is open line of communication, it's honesty, right? Whereas the other is deceitful, and it has betrayal, and it's the sneaking around, and it just has all of these things that don't feel good, which is why women, when they find out about the cheating, one of the first things, what do they say? A woman says, but do you love her? She doesn't say, how could you do that? She doesn't say, you know, what immediately she's thinking, she's comparing that woman to her, and she's saying, do you want to be with her? Do you care about her? Do you love her? It's the emotion behind it, not the physical act of it. Like, oh, well, how did this happen? Well, ma'am, you know how it happened. It's pretty simple, you know?
It didn't just happen.
No, it's been happening.
Right.
And you haven't been paying attention.
That's why I say love is contractual, because most people forget that.
Yeah.
Like, if you were honest with your woman or honest with your man, they would either consent to the contract or tell you no.
And they would leave.
Right.
But because people are possessive, they would rather have their cake and eat it too. And now, instead of telling you the truth, I'm going to go out here and do my dirt on the side just so I can keep you around, and I'm going to do it well enough so you don't really find out.
So this is the issue, and I love that, because most people have expectations. Anytime you have expectations on somebody else, you get disappointment.
Oh, facts. But I think an expectation is different from a standard.
It is. We need to have standards.
Yes. My standard for me, I personally, and I can only talk about me, but let me tell you this. They say never, right? I feel very strong saying I could never see myself putting my man in a position that would embarrass, humiliate, or disrespect him. Right. So even if I was with a man and then, years down the line, I'm with somebody and they know each other, or they don't know each other, or they're going to be in the same rooms together, I'm going to say, hey, just so you know this, because I'm not going to allow any man to walk around my man with an air like, oh yeah, I had your girl. Oh, no. Like, it just, I feel like there's a level of disrespect that comes up in my mind, for me personally, if you aren't keeping it a buck with your person, right. And I also feel like men are just waiting on that chance to have a one up on your man, right. Just waiting for it, because that's how men are wired, I think.
No, I agree with you, because it's the same thing on the other side. I would never want my woman to be able to walk around and have another woman come on, yeah, I was with you, man.
Yeah, don't let me find out from her.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, don't let me find out from this girl. Please just tell me. And it's just going to heighten the level of respect.
The craziest thing is that it's a contract. Like,
what does that, you keep saying that. What does that mean?
The contract it's an agreement.
Okay, to what?
We create an agreement. What would the relationship be like?
Yeah.
But see, if you love fully from the very beginning, you already know, I want to be with this person. It's just because it's not about looks all the way. Looks is the first attraction.
Okay, I was gonna say for men,
but it's about the energy of the person. Your energy is what keep the person. If you're nagging and got negative energy, how long am I gonna stay around? If I'm cheating and got negative energy, always down talking to you, how long you gonna stay around?
It depends on the person.
Right.
Some people will stay forever.
But let's just be real though.
I'm not saying. But if you were raised in a way where people are always telling you, you're never going to be nothing, you're never going to be happy, you're never going to be loved, you're never going to do better than me. And if that is the identity that you've allowed yourself to take on, and you've allowed yourself to subscribe to that story, if that's what you believe about yourself, if you get any person that's willing to just lay in the bed with you at night, you might feel like you've won. And it's not to say that that person is right or wrong, but they might feel like, well, at least I have a man, at least I have a wife, at least I have a whatever, and I would rather be treated badly than to have no one. Because the truth is, they might still live with those stories in their own mind that say, you'll never have a person, no one's ever going to love you like this. Oh, well, now those stories don't feel as true because you have something, it's just not something that's necessarily good for your spirit.
So that's why you have to update the contract, because somebody might say something to you. You live in a different world. You come from a different world.
Yeah.
You're raised in a different world than I am. Just reality of it. We come together, we merge our worlds.
Yes.
So we need to have a contract. My world is based upon these activities. This is why it's important to have business love languages. See, when I talk about business love language, I'm talking about love languages in total. Because you're a business.
Yeah.
I'm a business. If we come together, it's a business.
Yeah.
Love is contractual. Money is contractual. This world is contractual.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
So we have to understand it goes past those 5 love languages.
Oh, for sure.
How many people? All right.
I'm all of them.
You're all, but most people choose what?
1,
2, 3.
I'm all of them. Okay. I need the gifts. I need the quality time. I need the words of affirmation. I need the physical touch, and I need the quality time. I am all of them. Okay. Hey, husband, is this thing on?
Check.
Kenny, can you hear me? We're good. Husband, I know they keep talking about these 5 love languages. Well, I believe in all-encompassing love. And what I mean by that is I want all of those things and more.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
You know, like who would have thought?
That's what I'm talking about. That's why I said business love languages.
Tell me what those are. What is a business love language?
Business love language, you got to get down to, you got to understand. Once again, this is contractual. So if I'm in a relationship with you, right?
Yes.
Guess what? I got to make, before I even get into the relationship, I got to make sure you're comfortable with the contract to understand that
Do
I'm
you
an
make
entrepreneur.
people sign a contract?
No.
I feel like your body language said yes, but your mouth said no. Have you ever thought about it?
I drafted them up.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they just got to sign it.
Yeah.
This is a rule book. So you give people the rule book for your game so you can win.
So we can win.
Okay. Back to you. Business.
So the reality of it is, like, I haven't given it to him, but the reality of it is you have to make sure you're with somebody who's okay with what you do. If you're an entrepreneur and you know that you're going out, you can't have a person who gets mad at you for going out.
Oh, facts.
If you go out and you're out there and you're networking with somebody and they just look a little something, you can't be upset. Oh yeah, you was over here with Mindset Mogul past the time. You should have been with him. So now what's happening with the relationship? So it's really about understanding, what do you want from another person? And that's where the standards come in. The other person is meant to put expectations on themselves. You can't put expectations on somebody. You got to have a standard, and somebody else put the expectation on themselves.
But how do you identify what you want from someone else if you don't even know what you want from yourself?
Who are you talking about right now?
What you mean?
Like, do you know what you want?
I know.
So who are you talking about right now?
People.
Which people?
The people that are listening and watching, and they're like, I really want to be clear and have clarity in providing this for my partner to say, this is what I want. But they don't know how to say, this is what I want, because they don't even know what they want from themselves. Right. Let alone commit to it.
So if there was a bunch of boxes, presents, and you picked a present and you don't know which present it is, what's the answer? Like, you get what you get, right?
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
So if I'm a person that don't know what I want, I'm just going to get what I get. I have to figure out what I want. You got to solve you first.
Yeah, how do they do that?
You got to solve you first of all. You got to look past the pain of the past.
How do you do that?
You got to really like look in the mirror and love on yourself. Let me tell you what I used to do. Before I became a Mindset Mogul, I had to like stop people in the track. So we would go to these events. I used to do videos, photography, and I would like, at the end, I was like, can I say something to everybody? My heart's pounding. You can hear it. It's silent. Boom, 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 boom. I raised my hand like, damn, I just got to do it scared. Just do it. So I raised it like, what's up? Like, yo, can I say something to everybody? Like, yeah. You are an amazing person. I want you to understand, how often do you talk to yourself like you talk to somebody else? I want everybody right now, take your phone out. I want you to put it on the camera, and I want you to put it on selfie mode. And I want you to say, you are beautiful. Oh. I want you to talk to yourself like you talk to other people, because you may have advice for other people, but you don't really listen to your own advice, right? Today is going to be that day. Yeah. Say, I want you to say, thank you for allowing me to grow. I want you to say, thank you for bringing me here. Why? Because guess what? Even if your life was on autopilot this entire time, you are amazing. Look what you did on autopilot. Ooh. Imagine what you could do being intentional. Ooh. Everybody's like, whoa, damn, man, I never thought about that. They're crying and stuff like that. They come shake my hand. Yo, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? So like that's how that started. Understanding that you got to love yourself enough to do the things you need to do in order to get what you want. If you want a beautiful relationship, how you going to get a beautiful relationship if you can't see yourself as beautiful? How can you actually become the person that's $1 million earner and you can't even manage $1? Oh, you got to be the reflection of the life you truly want to see. So when you talk about how can a person do that, the way that they do it is through community. The way that they do it is through you, your voice, what you're doing right now with your podcast, your platform. You're giving people a voice. You're giving somebody a chance to be heard, felt, seen, and loved, and appreciated. That's how they do it. They change through community, environment. Because we're mirrors.
Yes, of each other.
Right. So if I only see a negative mirror, yo, you're not this, you're never gonna be, then I'm just seeing that. And that's how I see myself, even though I believe that I could be great.
Yeah.
But I know that I'm not because that's what my mirror says.
Yeah.
If I know I'm not beautiful, I'm not beautiful.
Yeah.
And then everybody else sees me as not beautiful.
And I really think that a lot of it is so rooted so deeply. I read this staggering statistic that said only 4% of women believe themselves to be beautiful.
Right.
4% of all women believe, like, identify themselves as beautiful. Now, whether the world says that they're beautiful or not, I have no idea. But statistically speaking, another staggering statistic that adds to that is that 2 out of 3 people have low self-esteem, which means they're questioning their purpose. They're questioning if they're good enough. They're questioning, is it even possible for them? Are they capable? They're questioning all of these different things. And it's like, okay, well, when you partner, I don't feel beautiful with, I'm not even really good enough. And then on top of that, I read an even more staggering statistic that 67% of people, based on a Harvard study done, they did what is it called? They did a survey. 67% of people don't think that anyone would mind if they died. So now you have people that don't think they're beautiful. You have people that don't think that they matter. They don't know their purpose. They don't know why they're here. And then you have people on top of that don't even think anyone cares if they were here to live or die. And when you partner all of that with, the root issue, like that's like the core, the worthiness is the core of the issue. And the solution to that is, how do you speak to yourself? Okay, you don't feel beautiful. What do you have to do to feel beautiful? Is it put a curl in your hair? Is it wear that certain type of clothing? Is it brush your teeth twice a day? Is it like, what is the thing that you have to do to feel beautiful? And I love what you said, because you said you've got to get right with you first. You've got to do a self inventory. Where is it that I have lack? Where is it that I want to grow? Where is it that I want this expansion? And when you start to do that, that's when life starts to change, because all you need to shift your belief is just a little bit more than what it used to be. We as humans crave progress, right? It's that level of I deserve a little bit more, right? And I agree with you in the sense of getting around that community of people that don't let you fall back into who you used to be. I always say, like, you've got to get around the people that pull the soldier out of you and not around the people that pacify you. Because we live in a life where people are like, oh, this is hard. My life's so hard. Okay, I know it's hard. What's the exit strategy? Because when I was struggling, in every which way, when I never felt beautiful because I was the only Black girl in every grade, and my hair was different and my skin was different, and none of the boys liked me, and they all liked my super light-skinned sister and she had a body built like a Coke bottle frame, and I am shaped like this mic, like there's not much shape here, but I do the best with what I'm given. I like literally, when that was my thing, what do I need to do? Well, Sarah, you want to build more curves? Hit the gym. I'm in the gym 5 days a week. And as a result, now I know when I do get to my partner, because I do know that men are more physical than they are anything else at first. It's a very masculine thing. I know that that's a perk that I have, but it's not for him, husband. It's not for you, but you get to benefit of me having it for me, So I think that it's really important for people, what you're saying, what I'm hearing you say is identify the root of the issue. Do the antithesis, the opposite of that thing, so that you can feel good, and then get around the people that are going to reinforce the feel good feelings, so that you can have just a little bit of progress, which is so attractive. So you want a little bit more. And then next thing you know, you look up and it's like, oh, how'd I get here? I love this version of me. People might see us now and be like, wow, how did you get this way? It's been over a decade of work. The reason why I say I'm a self-love guru, the reason why I can teach self-love is because I know self-hate. I know what it feels like to look in the mirror and feel incomplete or feel like I don't fit in. And to be honest, I'm sorry, I'm on my soapbox right now, but I just feel like even right now, I don't feel like I fit in. I feel strange and different. And my mom calls it unique. And I think she's just being really sweet and saying I'm a weirdo. And you know what? In this world, I am. I don't need to fit in. But when you find your tribe and they're also a combination of weirdos, now we're the normal people and everyone else is weird. Right. And then it doesn't matter who you are. And I think that freaking environment part is just so important. You just said a lot.
Right. And I thank you for
my
sharing.
brain.
No,
just
please
did a
don't
thing.
be sorry at all, because I think we needed that. And I thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
You know, like, I really understand the principle of this. This is why I created an app called Love Plus.
Oh.
LUHV. I wear it on my sleeve. I wear love on my sleeve.
Come on, Love Plus.
Right. Because love is the highest frequency.
Yes.
Right. And
wait, how can they get this app? We're going to put it in the description box below, but how can they get this app?
Play Store, App Store, LUHV with the plus symbol, it'll pop up.
Okay.
So I have a challenge on this. So this is like a growth companion tool. So I have a challenge in there, right? And the challenge is private reflection challenge.
Oh, I see that in the book.
Yeah, it guides you on a private reflection, so that way you could truly see yourself. Because guess what?
What?
Who told these people that? Who told you that if you passed away, nobody would care? Who told you that you're not beautiful? Who told you these things? I want you to understand. Like, if I was your friend and I was listening to you talk like that, I'd be like, why are you talking to my friend like that?
Right.
Because that friend, right? Or why are you talking to your friend like that? Because that friend is the person that's been with you through everything.
Yeah.
When you was down, that was the friend that pulled you up. That person has been around with you 24/7. That person, how could you talk bad about that person that's been there? Right. So let's change the narrative of how we see ourselves.
Yeah.
So who are you comparing yourself with? People love to hold on to imperfections. They love to hold on to limitations. They fight for it so much they get to keep them in their lives. But guess what? This is why, like I said, your show was very important. This is why your podcast is amazing, because you could allow somebody to see something differently. I'm gonna tell you, person, I want you to see difficulty differently. I want you to see your obstacles as opportunities to show your greatness. I want you to see challenges as chances for you to step up. I want you to understand you are amazing.
Yes.
I was talking to you the whole time. So listen.
Received.
So the thing is, it's about the environment, because every action, every word, everything you do matters. Like everything you do matters, because every word, every action, every thought is a seed you plant for the garden of your future. You want your garden to be prosperous. You want your garden to be fruitful. You want your garden to be luxurious.
Yes.
Then you got to be the planter. You got to be the gardener. You got to be the person that shines that light.
Yes.
Right. So it took some of my darkest days for me to find my light, to shine my light. But that's probably you too. So it's okay that we experience dark times, because that gives us the character that allows us to mold ourselves and build ourselves. But it's literally like, you got to do what's best for you in a situation to grow. So that's why I said, let me just make sure I make the app so that way people can have an opportunity. So not only are you changing the way you feel about things, you're changing your relationship with money. So on the app, like, if you was to go to like challenges and you would like select a challenge, what challenges are you currently facing in your life? Let's say you're dealing with money challenge. If you're dealing with a money challenge, then the app will curate all the courses and all the tools that you need in order for you to actually get over your money issues. Right. So it's the same thing with the love, right? If you feel like you don't love yourself enough, we have the different things like out there. So you got mirror challenge, where I used to do this in person. That's how I used to do it. So when like 2020 hit, pandemic stopped everything. We used to meet up from New York City. So we used to have these meetups, and I would have the women stand in front of the mirror.
I bet they cried.
They all cried.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
I just hug them. Just hug them for like 5 minutes straight. Don't even let them go. And that taught me that everybody just want to be loved. That's it. Like, everybody. That's why when I noticed the 5, I said everybody wants to feel loved, appreciated, heard, felt, and seen. In that moment, that was the first time that some of those women finally got to see themselves, got to be heard, got to just understand that, look, because you may not be where you want to be, but you're right where you need to be, because you're not where you used to be.
Right. And you're still here.
And you're here.
And that in itself is an opportunity to change anything and all things.
Absolutely.
That's so good. Shaun, I'm going to flip. Ooh. Look at this. I just had to flip to it. Look, we've never had a book on the show before. Okay. This is our first book here, Becoming More Effective in Less Time by Shaun. Okay. We got him right here. And I feel like one of the things that I love doing with reading, if I'm going to purchase a book, is I'll flip to a page. And if it relates to me, I'm like, ooh, this is good. I'm going to get it, like wherever it may be. But it's funny that the last time we talked about reconnectivity when we were just talking about connection, and now we're talking about getting in alignment with self. And what I just flipped to is realignment, meditation, affirmations, and inspiration. Right. Can I read the first? Is it okay if I read the first? Can I fold this?
Oh, yeah, you can fold it.
Because I can't see. Fun fact, I can't see. Okay, yeah, and I don't have contacts in, so there's that. And I can't wear my glasses because then you'd see the reflection on the thing. So fun fact about me, I can't see far or close. Okay, great. So here we go. We talk a lot about our own energy when we talk about having a growth mindset, and there are many ways you can tap into your energy to help you get the results you want. Once again, this will involve patience, practice, and developing new habits. Through these actions, you can practice living on the level you choose by creating the habits that will take you there. This is literally exactly what we just talked about. And what I love about it is you said this will involve patience, practice, and developing new habits. Patience, practice. I call that conditioning. How do you get good at anything? By doing it over and over and over again. You cannot possibly expect yourself to run and win a marathon if you've never ran a mile in your life. Like the first time you can, maybe you run a mile and then maybe 2 and then 5 and then 7 and then 5 again and then 7 and then 8 and then 5. And it's like literally a level of conditioning that you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and energetically have to put yourself through. And literally conditioning your mind is no different. Because that little devil does come onto your shoulder where you're like, no, I'm going to be better. I am beautiful. And then that little devil's going to be like, yeah, but your hair looks ugly today. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but your face is breaking out. Yeah, but you gained all that weight. All of those things. I even find myself right now, it's the holiday season. Clothes are baggier. I'm like, okay, I've been eating sweets. I was in Los Angeles with my family on my dad's side over Thanksgiving. I ate everything. And when I tell you, I'm literally like, where did this come from back here? For me, and I have a very high standard for myself and as far as how I want to feel inside of my clothes. So when things start fitting a little tight, I'm like, oh, bring me back to summer where the clothes are fitted because this baggy stuff is giving me a little too much leeway. But anyway, I say that to say how you talk to yourself and conditioning yourself like, yeah, okay, I'm a little fluffy. I'll get it back. I'm 2 weeks away. I'm 2 weeks away. And if you treat every goal like it's 2 weeks away, look, you could be 100 pounds from your goal. But if you're like, oh, I'm 2 weeks away and you lose 5 pounds and then you celebrate that 5 and then 2 weeks again and you lose 5 more pounds and you look up in 6 months, you've lost 75 pounds. You are doing so much better than the person that's like, look at all that weight you gained. You're right. I did gain all this weight and I'm never going to reach my goal. No, you've got to recondition your mind. I love this. This is a good book.
This is a great book.
Look, I've flipped to 2 things randomly and already I'm like, ooh, all right, I would get this.
And I thank you for that because before I wrote that because remember I was just writing down breakthroughs and I had this thought. I lost both of my parents growing up.
Oh.
I went to 7 different schools in 9 years.
No, you didn't.
I had gastroesophageal reflux disease.
What is that?
You know acid reflux?
Acid reflux?
Right.
Yeah.
Reflux. This was a cancer version because it was a chronic version.
Like literally a cancer version?
Yeah.
It was cancer.
Yeah.
You had cancer.
I had to change my whole eating profile. I became plant-based and it saved my life. Yeah.
Wow.
I lost over 55 pounds in 41 days.
By choice or because you were sick?
I was sick. I was dying.
Oh.
I developed bulimia.
Oh.
Right. I was in a space where I didn't care about life.
Oh.
So that was a weird thing for me.
Yeah.
Because I've never gotten to that point. And I've always used to be like, how could you not care about life?
What did that?
It didn't feel like suicidal. It felt like I didn't care if anything happened. That was weird. That's what made me say, oh no.
Was that empowering or was that crippling?
It was empowering because I remember what my mom told me. She said, never let my sickness become your weakness. So she was passing away. She ended up passing away with 13 brain tumors, a collapsed lung. She had breast cancer, so she had to have one of her breasts removed, and she told me that, and I was like, all right, cool, I gotta be strong. Never share my story, and then one day, I realized my story wasn't my weakness. My story soon became my strength. Are you crying?
I'm very an emotionally attached person. It's right there behind Kenny, the Kleenex. One, I love my mother so much. I don't want to talk too much because I will absolutely cry. Thank you so much. Major shout out to Anissa who just brought me Kleenex because I don't want to cry off an eyelash. But really and truly, number one, I celebrate you for being who you are and being strong and being able to move through, sort through, and navigate through something that hard. you know, and I do know because my dad, we battled with our second battle of cancer this year. And inside of that, it was the scariest thing I've ever experienced because I was grieving, but I still had my dad, and he's still here. I'm grateful that they literally made it like he can't have surgery because this is his second time, and we don't do surgery, and there's too much scar tissue, and he already did radiation and hormones and all of these different things. And so, number one, I know cancer is hard, and so just my heart goes out to you for that. But number two, I think that it's really beautiful when you can take that level of grief and turn it into something beautiful. I don't feel like that's something that is talked about enough. I think that someone that's never been afraid of losing someone or actually lost someone, which is way worse, by the way, I don't think anyone can relate until it happens to them.
Right.
Like, I just don't think anyone can relate until that happens to them. So number one, my heart, my condolences. I'm really sorry to hear that. And two, it's inspiring that you're here and you're so positive and polished and teaching through your story, you know?
And I thank you. Everything that you give me, and I want to give you some love too.
Thank you.
Everything is received and reflected. And yes, that was a tough thing, and I had to learn through that.
How old were you?
I was 15.
Oh.
Yeah. I was in ninth grade. I had a 65 point grade point average in New York City. 64 is felon, so I was 1 point away from felon. This was like a tough time. My mom, before she passed away, I said, "Mom, what do you want me to do? Like, just tell me. I don't know. Like, because I never not had my mom.
Right.
I lost my dad at 2. He was murdered in front of our building. So I was blessed to be able to have another dad.
Yeah.
Second dad.
Yeah.
And out of that second dad, my brothers were born.
Oh, I love that.
And today, my brothers and I, we created $20 million in family wealth.
I love that.
You may see, like, you may lose, but you may also gain in the same time, because everything here is temporary. The past is meant to teach you a lesson. The past, you learn from that. The purpose of learning is mastery. The future, you're supposed to see that. That's your vision, because life doesn't go according to plan. Life goes according to your vision.
Yeah.
But where you operate is you operate in the present. This is where the possibilities lie. So when I was young, I started developing it. I never quite understood, how did I get that?
How did you?
Right. And so now I walk into my purpose, you know, by being this way. And it was a sad thing, because even like when I met you last year, or I met you, whatever, like a week later, I lost my grandmom. That she was the mom to my mom. And, you know, she was my mother after my mom passed away. And then 5 months after that, I lost my second dad. I'm in Miami. I'm having a good time. We taking students. We out on the yacht. We doing all this stuff. Like, we hanging out. You know, 2 days later, got bad news. What? That was the last straw that made me understand, like, the ancestors chose us. I have to have enough gratitude in my attitude to change my altitude, because these individuals, I'm blessed. I got to be with the greatest ancestors. Like, when you look at you, like, Sarah, you're made up of all the beautiful people that came before you. You're the greatest. You're the best of the best.
My Grammy.
Right. Like, even Grammy's still within you. She is you. You are her. And when I realized that, I said, oh, damn, they're not really gone. They're just not here physically.
That is so hard. And I feel like inside of that lesson, I think that when I really just think and I feel and I'm present, I think that one of the biggest challenges is almost like there's a guilt for being happy again when someone that you love so much is gone. How did you sort through that grief?
Look, this might sound crazy. It was 5 a.m. I looked up at my phone. Like, why do people keep calling? Got a bunch of missed calls and stuff. I literally just celebrated my brother's baby shower. You know, took everybody out to dinner. That was amazing, you know, to be able to do that for him. And then the next day, like, I'm seeing all these messages. And he's like, yo, call so-and-so. So I picked up the phone and called my brother. Yo, your grandmother passed away. Oh, I drive from New York to New Jersey. I rush to get there 3 hours, basically. I get in there. The room is 8 o'clock. I go upstairs. They give me all this because, you know, like, got the COVID protection and stuff. So I got dressed up. Nobody told me. So I'm just dressed up and walk upstairs. Let me just see her body, at least, if this is real, because I don't know if this is real. Go in there. She's not even there anymore. Literally, they moved her out, and she's already, they have somebody new in there with the instructions all up there already. Literally, I just got called 5 o'clock. So they moved quick out in the hospitals, right? So 15 minutes later, I got to go get on my morning call, because I run accountability programs. So 4 weeks, I run an accountability program, and this was like the beginning of it. So this just happened to me, and I got to come up and give everybody the energy. I got to come up and give everybody the beautiful love. I got to come up and I got to be that person.
Did you do that?
I had to. I had to. So when I realized, it's like, even after when I was done, what it made me feel like was this. It made me feel more empowered because I don't have Tom. Tom has me. That's why I said I love the way I love. That's why when you talk about my relationship and dating life, it's a good dating life, but I want that one. You get what I'm saying? Because I don't want to hurt anybody. And my love can hurt. I didn't know that at first.
All love hurts.
Right.
I don't even think it can. I think all love hurts unintentionally, intentionally. It just hurts.
Right. So when I realized that everything is temporary, an at ease feeling came over me. But you know that feeling you get, just like, damn, it sucked though, because I'm a hugger, and when I hug my grandmother, I can feel her love on me. You know? Like that's the love, and I have to now use the memories to get that back, which is what also helped me. All of this is a collection of memories.
Yeah.
When I walked into your set and I came to see you, it was beautiful to see you.
Oh.
Right? But now it's a memory now. Okay. Everything is happening in 1 second, and then it's a memory. So all I ever had anyway was a collection of memories. So I got to start utilizing my memory to help me love on the people, right? So I'm going to still love my grandmother. I'm going to still be able to see her face. I'm going to still be able to hug her and feel it because it's in my memory.
That is really profound. And it's so true, because when you start thinking about time, and literally now is the fastest moment we'll ever have. You know, all of the past is long, and the future is, we don't know if it's long, but we hope that it's long. But now is so fleeting. You never even really, at the moment you say a word, now is gone. You know, that's beautiful that and that's true, that you could just live inside of the memory of whatever it could be. And if you choose, because actually subconsciously speaking, Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about how a lot of us recreate our memories in a negative manner, and we fuel it so much with negative feelings that that's what we remember, but that's not even what actually happened, you know? And so it's really powerful that you're able to think about the beauty inside of those relationships and fuel them with positive emotions. And so that's what you get to feel. And it's crazy because when you say things like, you know, everything is temporary, it sounds so dark, and at the same time it actually reminds me of a book. Have you ever read A Course in Miracles?
No, I haven't read.
It's a trilogy. It's a really beautiful book. And there's also the Experience, A Course in Miracles, which is like the short version. And rule number 1 in A Course in Miracles is everything means nothing. Nothing has meaning except for the meaning that we give to it. And so inside of the grieving, and I do therapy, right? I identified with my therapist that one of the things that I was the most afraid of with my dad was my dad not walking me down the aisle. My dad has always been there for everything in my life. Like I was in pageants like Miss California, and there's this part where your dad's walk you down. It was like the closest thing I've ever done to like being walked down the aisle, but your dad like walks you in, and you know, he's always been like that big man that I knew, like he was always holding me down, always like, and it actually gave me like a level of confidence, like, oh, this guy behind me, like say something to me. You know what I mean? Even when I remember, I must have been like maybe 9, I might have been 8. And there's this thing back home in Canada called Mosaic. And Mosaic is where all of the different cultures have their own different pavilion, and you eat the food and you do the dance, and you listen to the music. And so I grew up doing Caribbean dance and playing steel drums, and we like ran the Caribbean pavilion. My mom was a dance teacher, all these different things. And at the night, my dad helped with security. My dad's 6'8", 350 pounds. Like, he's a big man. Like, that's a big man. That's a good man, Savannah. Hey, Dad, I love you. And I remember there was this other guy who was like really buff. He was one of the brothers of the drummer that played for our steel band group. And he was really buff and tall, probably like 6'1", but he's a big man, right? Probably 250 pounds. And it was time for everybody to go. It was closing down. And my dad's like, y'all ain't got to go home, but you got to get out of here. here. Like it's time for y'all to go. But that guy that worked behind the bar was trying to be smooth with the ladies. And so he tried to pipe up on my dad. Like, hey man, like we gonna sit here. And me being 8 or 9-year-old Sarah, like, you know, I'm right there with my dad who's there telling the people to go. I'm like, don't you ever speak to your elders that way. I go off. But really the only reason why I went off is because he was so shocked. You should have saw his face. He was literally like, whoa, like, first of all, who is this little girl yelling at me? And second of all, what she's saying actually makes sense. But I knew nothing would happen because my dad was there. You know, like I could be that. And so I've always walked in that level of like boldness because my dad is there. So I think that there's a really beautiful opportunity that regardless of whatever happens inside of our life, I think that it's what you just said is really powerful to hold on to the beautiful memories that you do have of the people that you love, the hugs that you got, the kisses that you had, the experiences that you created. I think that that's a really beautiful thing. That's the acceptance part of grief that I think a lot of people really struggle to get to. Sheesh. I didn't mean to cry. I'm literally like, oh my God, eyelash gone. That was powerful, Shaun. That was really powerful.
I want to say thank you to you because we created that moment.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you. Like, even if this was the last moment that we did share together, this was a beautiful moment. Mm-hmm. So that's like a present for me.
Yeah.
I get to keep that. I get to always reopen that up and be able to see it.
Yeah.
You know, like just listen to your story. I never got a chance to feel that way about my dad. You know, I never got a chance to be like that. And just hearing it, it's like, that's why it's important to see difficulty differently. Because, yeah, you may have been dealt a hand. Mm-hmm. But how are you going to play the cards?
Say that.
Right.
And are you going to keep playing to win?
Right. Because you felt confident being that you had your dad.
Yeah.
But I felt confident being that I didn't. You had somebody to back you up. I had to be confident because I didn't.
I had my mom, my dad, my siblings. Right. We would be in groups ready to jump folks, like hide behind the book. Like and it's funny, my mom was always like, you don't have to fight. My dad was like, nah, y'all gotta fight. You ain't gonna let nobody. And I feel like I'm more like that now. I'm a combination of the two. Canada and Compton.
Ooh, Canada and Compton.
Yep. That's
a good balance.
Hey, dichotomy. But the dichotomy is real. And okay, so we got to switch gears a little bit because I have some questions for you.
Okay.
And they are really hard questions. Okay.
I love it.
Okay. So we love relationships and we love having all the conversations. And so this part of the show is called It's Giving versus It's Giving. Okay. So this is where I give you a scenario and you have to tell me based on the scenario whether you would choose the option I give you of it's giving something positive or it's giving something negative. And then just tell me which one and why.
Okay.
Okay. So you are in a relationship with a new girl. Well, you're not really in a relationship yet, but you're really liking the vibe. It feels really good. She's personally developed. She's, loving herself. She takes care of herself. She seems like that girl.
Wait, is she plant-based?
Sure.
Okay.
This is a better question for next time. Okay, so she is right up your alley, right? And then you decide to get into an exclusive relationship with this woman just for her to tell you, I don't actually enjoy personal development. Mm-hmm. I was only doing it because I was inspired by you doing it, but I don't want to do that anymore. Mm-hmm. It's giving, girl, you got to go. This relationship is over. Or it's giving, oh, well, at least she's being real, true, and authentic to herself. I'm still going to keep rolling.
I think it's given she's being real, true, authentic to herself. So let me keep rolling.
Like stay in the relationship?
Until, let me see what's up.
Even if she doesn't want personal development?
She could just be saying that.
No, what if she wasn't? She was serious.
Oh, she was serious and she, if we could foresee the future that she stopped growing?
Yeah, she was like, I'm over it.
I got her bags packed already.
It's time for her to go. Mm-hmm. You're plant-based.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a selectitarian. Selectitarian means I do what I want. But in that, I also don't eat fish. I don't eat meat. I don't eat poultry. I don't eat any of that. Right. I have cheese, right? Right. That's my why I'm not vegan. And I eat eggs. That's why I'm not vegan. However, if at some point I wanted to eat meat, I would. I just don't want to. The desire's not there, and it's been years. Like literally, I don't know. I want to say 10 plus years since I've had beef, and 8 plus years since I've had chicken, and almost 2 years since I've had fish. Now, if you met a girl and you just were hitting it off and you guys are doing amazing, and she told you she's a plant-based eater, but what she really meant to say was she's a selectitarian, and you guys go out of town and then she orders some Dover sole fish at dinner, it's giving, ooh, homegirl, you sold me a lie and you got to go. Or it's giving, she's staying true to herself. And if she wants to eat some fish, it's not going to kill her or me. It's
right.
okay.
So it's given, she's staying true to herself and it's not going to kill her or me, but how many times she doing it? Like, she doing it all the
Every time she's out the country. Because out of the country is different from America. Everything is different.
You were right. At first, when you said these questions are hard, I was like, nah, this question's kind of hard because the reason why it's hard because there's a fine line between the two. And the truth of the matter is, she's her own individual.
Yes. Would you still choose that individual?
That's really tough. I would choose her, I think, but I'm gonna be real. She got to tone it down. She can't be. She got to tone it down.
She can't eat meat, essentially, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Why'd you turn plant-based?
Yeah, I was dying. So it's different for me versus somebody else. I was literally dying.
How long ago was that?
2017.
Oh, that wasn't long.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. All of this stuff's been happening pretty fast. I'm still battling with the gastroesophageal reflux disease. They said it was like...
What is that?
It's basically my esophagus was badly burned.
From bulimia?
No, that was before that. The bulimia just made it worse. It's chronic. I've been having that for a long time. I didn't know I had it. They said when they checked on me, they took the microscopic camera, put it down, and said, "Whoa, we can see what you had for breakfast today." I couldn't wait for them to pull it out so I could tell them I didn't eat today. I didn't eat since yesterday, since 3 o'clock. How the hell is it still here since 3 o'clock? They said, I'm going to be honest with you. So put the camera back in. They said, whoa, this is terrible. It's so bad that it's almost as if somebody took a lighter and lit your esophagus on fire. I said, how do you feel? How are you alive right now? You okay? And I'm like, yeah. But at that time, I couldn't even swallow my food.
Okay. Because, okay, I have so many follow-up questions. Number one, how did you turn to, how did bulimia become a thing?
It was a forced, like if I ate, what I noticed that the food I couldn't even swallow it. It was sitting there.
Oh.
I was like, whoa. And then, obviously if you eat, it starts to turn to like acidic, right?
Yeah.
So it's like turning like the acid basically. So now I'm sitting with acid in my throat.
Oh.
Like that was a terrible situation. I would never put that on anybody. I used to sleep sitting up.
Yeah.
For nights.
Yeah.
On a couch. Sit asleep. My girlfriend was there at the time. She used to cry. Like that.
Oh, she saw you at your worst.
Yeah.
You never know. She might spin the block.
She's not spin the block.
If she spent the block, what would you say to her?
I would love for her to spin the block because I would love for her to be with the man that I am today. But the reality of it is I don't control that. Why
do you think she would just never? Why is she so off the table?
It's 3 years.
Who cares? What is time? It doesn't exist. It's not even
to
real.
Me, to you. To her, it does.
Have you tried to get her back?
I did.
Only once?
No. The issue was I got her back and I discarded her. Then I had to realize, why did I do this? You don't understand the value of love until you are removed from the thing that you love. So when it comes to a person, it's even magnified. So you don't understand it. This is why most women will be like, oh, guys always come back and yeah, because he understands that he loves you. Like, okay, cool. Like, it's okay for y'all to rekindle if that's the case. If it's not, then okay, move forward, whatever. But I believe that she's not going to because of me, the way that I treat her. I treated her poorly. I treated her poorly. Like, if I was her, would I return? Like, think about it. In my way, I was her at one time and I didn't. So I understand. If she never returns to me, that's my fault. I caused that. And the craziest things before that all happened, I knew it. I had to ask myself. Because the version of myself that I was with her, it had nothing to do totally with her. It was with me. It was my energy. My energy was my enemy. It was my inner me. You know what I'm saying?
You just said a lot in that sentence.
I couldn't be the man she needed.
But you can now?
I can now.
What's her name? Maybe you should tell her.
Should I say her name?
Or maybe say friend. Maybe say girl. You don't have to say her name.
I'll say her name.
Maybe just look in this camera and give her a message, because I'm a romantic and I love love. And I feel like if you really feel like you could be the man that she needs, not just even that she wants, maybe she just, wants, I got you, girl. We right here.
I don't know, but let's just say, I don't know. Is that compromising my new relationships?
Well, what do you want is the question. What's in alignment?
The truth is this.
You want it all.
The truth is this. I want a person, and she may not be the person.
Oh.
So if she's not the person, I'm okay with that being.
Then why would you let her spin the block?
Because maybe she is the person.
Well,
think about it this way. Right now, like if I get into a relationship with somebody else, damn, I can't go back now. So right now, while the window is open, hell yeah, let's see what's up. Like because think about it, the whole purpose for me to transform, to be this version, was to be a better version, so we can live life in a grander way. That's what it was. I paid for her first personal development programs.
Which one was it?
You know Landmark?
Oh, of course, Forum, yeah.
Landmark Forum.
Changes life.
Right.
Landmark Forum is heavily based on A Course in Miracles.
100%.
Heavily based on A Course in Miracles.
Right. I took that.
Yeah. It's phenomenal. But that whole nothing has meaning thing, Course in Miracles.
Space of nothingness.
Yes.
This is what I do when I do my guided meditations. I'll take people to the space of nothingness, and this is how you create the abundance. And people love it. They cry all the time. My brother be like, yo, make them cry today. I'm like, nah.
Ooh, there's so many things in what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. I have another question for you.
What you got?
You are you. Maybe this isn't you, so I don't know. I'm going to tell you how you would be in this scenario.
Okay.
You are you. And you're with a girl that you like. You're really getting to know her, and you think that this could be the one. But then you start to notice that she is liking every single photo of men that are in your circle. Every last one. Even ones that might even be inappropriate, like them coming out of the ocean with water beads on their chest, or the gray sweatpant photos, or whatever it may be. She might be all up on all of the photos. It's giving, homegirl, you're for the streets, or it's giving, wow, she just is really supportive out here.
At first, it was given, she was really supportive, but to really think about it, it's given, she's for the streets.
She's for the streets. She's for the streets.
I want to get your opinion on that. You answer the same question, because maybe I'm bugging. I don't know. I could be.
No, I think it's thirsty. I think that it is so thirsty when I see a man liking all the photos of my entrepreneurial girls. Now, we as women are a little bit different, because especially inside of my circle, it's like there are like sexy, classy photos. And if I see a man that I'm interested in and I know is interested in me liking every sexy photo of all of the women in my circle, it's giving thirst. It's giving you're parched. It's giving you need a drink of water and you need to go over there because this fountain is dry for you. Like, it's just a no for me. I don't like that. But I have very particular and peculiar ways of thinking. I'm very aware of that as well. But I don't like that. I don't like it at all.
Do you second guess yourself?
No.
Okay.
I boldly move. Even if I'm wrong, I boldly move. And then I'll figure it out later. And I'm like, ooh, that probably wasn't it. I love
that.
But I'm pretty bold inside of my decision making.
Right. You should be.
I am.
You got intuition, right?
I certainly do.
The ancestors chose you, right?
Absolutely.
You were amazing, right?
I received that.
100%.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Final question. How do you feel? Well, that's not the question, but how do you feel?
I feel good. Do got to use the bathroom. I feel
I love that. Okay, good. We're doing all right. Okay, final question. And first and foremost, I just want to say thank you so much for your transparency, and thank you for just bringing the knowledge, the real, the rawness. Like you said, explicit, and now I understand it's like spiritual explicitity, spiritual explicitness, whatever the word is. It's been explicit spiritually, mentally, emotionally, energetically, and I just want to say thank you for that. I see you, I acknowledge you, and I've felt everything that you have been saying. So speaking of what you've been saying, it brings me to the final question. I'm an avid reader. I believe that books change lives. I believe, like Jay-Z said, if you want to hide something, put it in a book, right? A lot of people don't take advantage of the wealth of knowledge that is right in front of them. And here, our audience, we love growth. We are hungry for growth. And so my question for you is, what book has changed your life and why?
Supernatural.
Oh, Becoming Supernatural, done by Joe Dispenza.
Yeah.
Dr. Joe.
Yeah.
I love that book.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite books.
Why?
Why? Because it not only did it come with audio, like you could go get the audio separately, but it allowed you to be into that space of nothingness, to create, to feel yourself in the world of this presence here. So when I was able to do that, it was at a good time in my life that it allowed me I can heal myself. I can feel myself. And it allowed me and gave me instructions to be myself.
I loved that book. I think it got really sciencey in the middle. I don't know that I needed all of those examples of the testimonials. Like after the first few, it's like, I get it. We can heal ourselves.
Right.
Pardon me. However, I do feel like Dr. Joe Dispenza is so profound inside of subconscious, conscious, competent work. And I think he's phenomenal. That's a great book. I love that book, actually. I love that book. And he starts right here with the pineal gland, and going back and understanding, feeling, and being. So, oh my gosh. Well, thank you again.
Hold on. We didn't get to talk about this one thing. I wanted to talk about the 3-day summit that I have.
Oh my gosh. Please tell me.
All right. So I have a workshop, right, that leads to the 3-day summit.
Yes. When is it?
Tonight.
You said tonight?
No. I got a 3-day summit that's like pretty much on I got a workshop. It's on Wednesdays at 9 p.m.
Okay.
I have a 3-day summit coming up that the workshops are leading to, right?
Yes.
But the workshop and the summits are about how to turn your annual salary into monthly income.
Nice.
Right. So I just wanted to break down these 5 moves for people so that way they can get some game. Is it okay if I drop that?
Yes, please do. Okay. I feel like you definitely are practicing what you preach, all this stuff I've been hearing. 100%. Yes.
And so people may have heard like IULs. You heard of IULs?
Of course.
But life insurance. Like IUAs. It's just it's a foundational 5.
Yeah.
So the foundational 5 is you want to have anchors, you want to have affiliates, you want to have assets, you want to have upsells, and you want to have investments. This foundation can allow you to transform your annual income to monthly income. Now, let's just say you had a program or you had some type of thing that you've done. For me, it might be personal to business development. Right? For somebody else, it might be like hairstylist or something like that, right? Okay, cool. So let's say you were a hairstylist. Now, if you were a hairstylist, that's your anchor.
Yeah.
So you do people's hair. I don't know how much the bundles cost. I don't know how much any of that stuff costs. But I do know that it costs a pretty penny, right? Yes. So let's just say it costs $1,000 to get your hair done.
Yeah.
So you're doing someone hair for $1,000. Now, let's just say you got 5 people in that week. In fact, you probably can get 10, right? You probably get 10 people in a week. So if you got 10 people in a week, how much money did you create already?
$10,000.
10,000, right? 10,000. All right, cool. So now that's your anchor. So now with the anchor, you need affiliates. What type of affiliates can you have as a person who is a hairstylist or somebody who does hair? You can have makeup. Let's say I don't know how much makeup costs, but I'm quite sure it's in the hundreds.
It's pricey.
How much does makeup cost?
I mean, if you need the whole shebang, it's definitely hundreds. Like a concealer. I just bought a concealer today. It was $40.
$40?
40 for that's one piece of the puzzle.
So how much would it be like a whole bundle?
If you're starting from scratch?
No, just anybody's a bundle. A bundle of like, so you got hair products. Maybe you got the face. I don't know like the makeup. I don't know the makeup game.
It's
lashes. I don't know. I don't know.
So it depends. So let's say if you do Lily lashes, it's $30 for a pair of lashes. If you want to go to the beauty supply store, it's $5 for a pair of lashes. If you want to do foundation, that's like $45. Concealer, another $40. Blush, another $30. Contour, if you get it from a drugstore, maybe $15. Lip gloss, even $10. Lip liners are each $15. Ooh. And if you're mixing colors, so now you got 2.
So it's given 200
minimum.
200 minimum. Maybe
that's shooting
right?
Low. Yeah.
Right. So we go with 300. Let's go with 300. Let's say
that's not hair.
And that's not hair. We got the hair out the way. That's just the makeup, right? So now all 5 people, how many people might wear makeup? Maybe 4, maybe 3. Okay. Let's say it's $300. That's the upsell. So you upsell them. I mean, that's your Yeah, you upsell. You're gonna upsell them, right? So you got your anchor. Your anchor is the doing it here. That's $1,000. You got $10,000. Cool. The upsell is we're gonna give you some makeup, right? Cool. That's 300. Maybe say how many people? 4 people. Out of that, how much is that? 1,200 or something like that. Add the 1,200 to the 10.
11.2.
Right. So yeah, 11.2. Right. So okay, cool. Now you need affiliates. How many people in that particular space may need something else? I don't know what people may need. For me, it's about like getting people funded. So maybe the people that come into your hair salon are business owners. Maybe you need to get your business owners funded. Maybe they need to get access to $100,000 quicker than their job can pay them, or faster than they can save it. And you're the person that could do it for them. You get them access to $100,000, and maybe let's just say you got 3% off the as a fee. So 3% of $100,000, what's that?
3,000.
3,000. How many of the people that came in are business owners? Let's say 3 out of 5. So let's add to that.
9,000.
Got 9,000. Add the 9,000 to the.
You're at 20,000 too.
Right. You got 20,000 too. Right. So cool. What else do you have? We said the anchors. We said the affiliates. You could do more affiliates if you wanted to, but it's just an example. And you got the assets. So for me, my assets is life insurance. So I let my money work for me. I want my money to be pregnant. You probably want your money to be pregnant. You got to have your money having money babies. Okay. Got to have the money having money babies. I want the triplets, quadruplets, all that. Right. So cool. The other thing too is you want to be able to have those upsells, like I mentioned before. So that's like the makeup and all the other stuff that you could add to that. All right, cool. How much did we add? You said like $1,200. So we had 20. We had 20.
Or 20,000.
20,000. So now you got investments. So let's just say your investment is real estate. My investments are real estate. I'm a real estate investor. So I'm gonna invest in wholesaling. So let's just say I got a fix and flip. I got the fix and flip. I might have my own contracts. I might be able to like do a just period of 30 days or whatever to make sure the property is good. That's still in time for a month frame, right? So inside that month frame, I do a fix and flip. Let's say we do one together, we JV and we make 20K off of it. You get 10, I get 10, add that to it. How much you got?
30,000.
30. Like, would 30,000 be great for a month?
Of course. Of course it would.
So we make it.
The average person makes $2,500 a month.
Right. And you could do this on the side too. Remember, like the only thing that was a physical thing that you've done besides like walking through a property or, doing that crap, you did somebody's hair. Everything else was you passing it off to somebody else. It's about where you're placing your money at, right? Money is meant to be doubled. Money is meant to create more money.
Yes.
So it depends on, are you putting your money in places that are liabilities or are you putting your money in places that are assets?
Yes.
So when you start thinking about the foundational 5, you can really start to like push your growth up when it comes to money. So this is what we're going to teach it, but that's just a small like dose. We're going to give you a deep dive. And when you talk about the shot glass to the ocean, that was a shot glass.
I love that. So they got to check you out on Wednesdays. They got to get a part of the thing and then go to the summit. The workshops on Wednesdays at 9.
Text the word millions to 347 429 6496.
Okay.
And then what you could do is you get that information, be able to register, and then you get that access to that information that could change your situation.
I love that. And I will also put that information in the description box below. I know that you be dropping bars. Like I already know because I know you already, so I love what you're doing. I love what you're up to. And I love that you are providing access to people to help them get out of their own way and completely change their circumstance. And it's a beautiful thing to see. Really and truly. I just appreciate you for today.
Thank you.
It was amazing. Thank you. Okay. Well, guys, oh my goodness, what an amazing episode today was. I almost cried off an eyelash. We learned about how to deal with our own grief, how to get out of our own way, how to really have a powerful mindset, how to really identify the fact that nothing is permanent, right? Everything is temporary. And when you have an aspect of that part of your life where you're looking at things with a powerful perspective instead of a crippling one, everything starts to change in your life. And then on top of that, Shaun is teaching how to get to the money. Okay. So make sure to check out that description box below. If you have not yet, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and press a follow, save, share, all the things as we're dropping new content, guys. This entire focus of this podcast is to create dynamic conversations in the home with the intention of healing. So if that's for you, save it, bookmark it, push it out, share it, like it, all of the things, and share it with someone else that's just like you. If no one has told you today, you are freaking phenomenal. Bomb.com. Nothing can stop you but you got to do something about it. Love you guys. Thank you. Bye.
Peace.